I'm Debbie Pearl. I'm here with Kirsten in the herb garden, and it is one hot, humid day. And we're going to discuss the subject of her marrying a priest. A priest man is steady, gentle, kind. You can count on him. And so we're going to ask Kirsten, do you want to marry a steady guy?
Oh, slow and steadies are so boring. I have a friend, and he's even boring when he eats. The way he eats his food is even boring.
She's a rough case, isn't she?
But
okay, now let's talk about it. Tell me one thing that you like about priest men that are slow and steady. I tell you what, think about who do you know that is a priest type?
okay, my dad is the epitome of a priest. He is, and he always has been, and I really like and admire that about my dad.
Yeah.
He's amazing. And what I like about him is he's always there. You
can count on him.
You can count on him. And I knew that he was always going to be at my soccer game, and his ministry isn't necessarily, he doesn't go out and street preach or go to the prisons or anything like that, but he's sort of the behind the scenes type guy, and we noticed that as his family. And it was kind of like after church he'd be the one to clean up around the church and bring people home, visitors home. And he would do that on Saturday, while most guys were on Sunday he would do that. While most guys on Saturday were going preaching in the prisons and street preaching, doing all that, he was at our soccer games on Saturday, supporting our family. He was there. I knew he was going to be there. He was my coach on my soccer team, and that meant a lot to me. And then on Sunday you could see him ministering to people. That was his ministry. He was more behind the scenes. Friendly. He was friendly, and he told the kids stories, and it just, watching him, you were proud of him. I was proud of him, and it's like other kids would be like, well, what does your dad do? You know, is your dad the preacher? What does your dad do? And it's like, no, he's the behind the scenes, handyman. He does everything. It's like, to me, he did everything. He was always busy with people. And
people often overlook these steady guys. In my book, Created, I have a story about a man that washes the outhouse. You remember that?
Yeah.
That's her dad. Her dad, my husband's the preacher, so we really appreciate him. We really are thankful for him, because we know we don't have to think about these things because he's going to take care of it. Nobody's going to say thank you. Nobody's going to ask him to do it. But women that are married to steady men often complain. They look down at their husbands. They don't feel like they're spiritual because they don't preach. They don't feel like they're leaders in the home because they don't teach the children Bible stories or have devotions. They are just plain, steady men that you can count on. So tell me, what do you see that you need to be doing to get ready to learn to appreciate your steady man if you marry a priest?
I think it's a lot like a prophet. You need to have something on the side that you yourself can do, so you're not pushing him to do everything with you. He can be doing his little ministries that he values, that are valuable to him, and you can have your own life and learn how to take control. Not take control, but you're in charge of teaching the kids. Even if he's really good at math, don't expect him to teach the kids math. You've got to get a math tutor. I mean, you could say, that's a total waste. My husband's really good at math. Why doesn't he just teach? That's not what that's not his calling. And so you need to expect that out of him. Just expect him to do his job, do his ministry, what's valuable to him. And then you need to find out how you can do all the rest.
Yeah.
Be thinking of that now.
As a girl matures, she learns to appreciate and honor a steady man more than she would when she was young and single. But just knowing that God calls a greater number of men to be priests. They're the ones that come when if there's a tragedy. They're ready to be quiet and just be by your side. They are the men they're the salt of the earth. And if you, as a young single girl, look around you and start praying and appreciating all these steady men, then when you marry, if you are really fortunate, God will give you a steady man. You'll appreciate him for the righteous, good man that he is, and not expect him to be somebody in the front with the bells and the whistles. So I think that this has been a good lesson to be able to see her appreciation for her dad, and to know that his value is just as important and great as the preacher.
Yes, definitely. And they're also nice because you can, even as a child, I remember my dad has a routine. I remember I could wake up in the morning, it'd be really early, and for me I was like 5 or whatever, and I could get up and brush my teeth while he was shaving, and that was kind of our time together. And I knew that if I woke up, if I could get up and wake up, I could sit with him for 15 minutes in the bathroom while he shaved and did his routine, and I could be there with him. And that was so special as a 5 and 6 year old. And you know, you don't think about that as someone having a routine and all that stuff, but I knew that my dad was there, and I knew that I could get up with him and do that with him. And all along, I know what my dad does every day, and I know it's just nice to know that he's always there, and I can count on him to do his routine and do the things, and I can jump in there with him. But when I was little, that was just so special to me. I remember just sitting on the counter in the bathroom watching him shave and talking his ear off, and then I would usually crash as soon as he left. But it was just 15 minutes knowing that I could get up and be with my dad for that time. And I know that that's a trait of a slow and steady. They have a routine in their life that they do, and that was really good. Also, I think as young girls, we want someone more wild and crazy or in charge, you know, if you're, you know.
Romantic.
Yeah, and when you're older, you want someone you can count on to be there, and who's slower and steady and there for the family. So you may be looking at all of these teenage guys or whatever and think, oh wow, he's, you know, so exciting, he's doing all this stuff, and then the slow and steady is just pacing out their life. But really in the end, that's more admirable. I mean, they're all awesome, but you know.
So don't overlook a steady man. Don't overlook a steady man. You know, don't think he's boring. Think he's deep. He's deep. And he's sure going to come to your rescue someday, so you want to get you one if you can.